Hi, this is CBRadioMagazine.com, and today we're going to look at the Galaxy DX2547 AM and single sideband base station CB radio. There are not too many CB radio base stations on the market anymore. In terms of single sideband, there's very few. There was the Galaxy DX2547 that's in front of you, and the Ranger 696F single sideband base station. Other than those two, just hasn't been a whole lot in the market lately. Back in the heyday of CB radio, there was Cobra 2000s, Unit in Madisons, Unit in Washingtons, and all those types of radios that were on the market. If you're looking to talk on a radio in your home, a base station is definitely a great way to go. They're very easy to set up, no need for converters for AC to DC. You just plug these directly into your AC power current. These radios do have their own transformer inside, and let's take a look at some of the features. Let's talk about the features on this radio. There's a normal power switch up here in the upper left hand corner. Turns the radio on and off, just push button. Just below that's a talkback control. It's a variable talkback control. Turning it to the right does click it into the on position, so you can turn it on or off, and then it's variable control. There's a headphone jack. 4-pin Cobra Galaxy standard 4-pin microphone jack. It's got a nice large meter here, a standard mechanical meter. Here's an RF power control, so you can adjust your dead key on the radio for AM power. It also works on sideband. It does lower your output power. You can set your radio up with a 1-watt dead key. Just below the RF power control is the microphone gain and RF gain. It's a dual control pot. Over here we've got an SWR modulation and power control here that controls the modes for the meter. Below that we've got a dim and tone control. The dimmer dims the display. Tone control is kind of neat. You can adjust out some of the hiss by going to a lower tone, or you can bring up some signals, bringing it up to a higher tone. There's a standard Roger beep on this radio. It comes from the factory, and there's a PA button switch. Alright, looking at the right side of the radio, you will see the channel readout display, a large channel changing knob in the middle of the radio. RX TX light turns red on transmit. SWR alert. If you have a high SWR, it will light up here. There's a AM LSB, which is lower sideband, and USB upper sideband control here for your mode. There's a clarifier control along the bottom. There's 4 buttons: ANL, automatic noise limiter, your NB, which is your noise blank, GNF, which is your Galaxy noise filter, a special feature on these radios, and a clarifier button, which actually unlocks or locks the ability of the clarifier to track the radio. Up above here, there's a 6-digit frequency counter, something you don't see too often. Even the Galaxy 959, which this radio does use the same board, only has a 5-digit frequency counter, so this is something that's kind of neat. And also there's mode lights all the way along here. It tells you whether or not your Roger beep's on, your PA, which mode you're in, and whether or not you've got your ANL or noise blank on. Over on the right hand side you will see a switch here. This is a normal switch, so you can leave it in normal operation in the normal 40 channels, or you can go to instant channel 9 or instant channel 19. Below that is your squelch control, which most of you are going to be familiar with, and on the very bottom there on the lower right is the volume control. So let's talk a little bit about this radio. This is a Galaxy 959 mobile chassis inside of an actual base unit here, and it does have its own transformer, so you can plug it directly into AC. It's nice to see that companies are still producing a single sideband base station radio. There just aren't a whole lot on the market, and the Galaxy is pretty much it. These radios tend to do good performance. They do put out good amount of wattage. If you use an amplified microphone, bass microphone, they do quite well. We have been trying actually a Galaxy bass echo microphone on these. The radio itself does suffer a little bit from drift during warm-up. As you can see right now, it's holding on frequency. We're in about 70-degree temperatures. I did know out here in the shop it got a little bit colder this year, and this radio did drift a little bit. So this is the inside of the Galaxy 2547. And as you can see, the actual board looks very familiar to the Galaxy 959 radio, so those of you who are familiar with that will notice that. And these are the tuning locations at the back of the radio that most people are going to be interested in. This is your single sideband ALC control. It's VR13. Just below that is your AM modulation control. That's VR16. Just below that is your AM low power adjustment point, that's VR18. And over here is VR14, which is your AM high power adjustment point. Let's go up front to the front of the radio, and just like most other radios with the same chassis in them, you'll see that it does have the 3 canisters here. This is your AM upper sideband and lower sideband frequency adjustment points. So if you do get a radio that is slightly off frequency, or the counter's driving you nuts or something and it's off, then you can make adjustments to those canisters: AM upper sideband, lower sideband, which is AM's L20, upper sideband's L21, and lower sideband is L22. This radio does have a Ranger board in it. You can see the number there. Overall, these are very good performing radios and good modulation, very good on sideband. Been fairly happy with the results of the performance of the radio. Like I said before, slight drift on sideband. Most of the new radios that are coming out, sideband radios, do have some slight drift, and I'd say it's acceptable on this radio, nothing too annoying, and got lots of good contacts with the Galaxy 2547.